Good morning. It's 3 past 6. Robert and Erin, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL, the KEEL app, a free download. Erin has local news. I see her working feverishly to get news. It is coming up next.
Crime numbers are down in Shreveport for the first few months of the year. False alarm on a suspected mortar shell and bulletproof backpacks in schools.
Let's see. Mark Zuckerberg will testify before the Senate today. But when somebody says testify, usually you mean under oath.
Oh, yeah.
But he's not. Erin
He's not?
No. Erin is still stunned by how Facebook works. This is a total, I don't want to say show trial, but it's a show something, and we'll talk about that. Fletcher in sports and traffic and weather, and it's all coming up this hour, and it's right here on KEEL.
At a time. So call now.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Shreveport police say crime is decreasing so far this year. Reuben Wright with more.
The first months of 2018 have seen a drop in violent crime in Shreveport. This time last year, the city had already seen 9 homicides. This year, so far, only 3. The end of February also saw a decline in property crimes of 19%. 2017 was a heavy year for crime in Shreveport with 50 homicides. Corporal Marcus Hines of the Shreveport Police Department claims that the crime decrease is a result of changes made within the department. From 1017 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Reuben Wright.
False alarm on a suspected mortar shell found in a local neighborhood. Residents on Bienville had quite a shock when a suspected explosive device was found. Police corporal was waved down after the device was spotted. A large-scale investigation that included Barksdale's ordnance disposal team found the device was a non-explosive training device. Bulletproof backpacks may be on the horizon for Louisiana students. A bill approved by the Senate that would allow body armor to be worn on school properties and buses. The bill passed 34-2 and is now headed to the House. Students gathered to learn about the law on prayer in schools. State Attorney General Jeff Landry telling KEEL News student-led prayer is completely legal. We asked him, what about parents who say they don't want their children in classes where there's prayer?
Those parents cannot infringe upon the other students' rights to express their First Amendment, just like we can't infringe upon their right to become to profess the fact that they're atheists.
Now, Congressman Mike Johnson telling KEEL News, it's all about free speech for everyone.
Because we believe in the free marketplace of ideas, and conservatives and Christians are not about censoring and silencing other viewpoints because we don't have to. We want more free speech. We want more vigorous debate.
Landry says prayer cannot be initiated by teachers, but students can lead prayers. Emotional testimony expected in the Transportation Committee today as a bill will be heard requiring drivers to use only hands-free communication devices. Suzanne Salter will testify in favor. She says her daughter was killed by a teenage driver who was texting at the time of the fatal crash.
What was she looking at? You couldn't see a vehicle in front of you that was stopped in the brake lights? It's because her eyes was on her phone.
Distracted driving, one of the number one causes of wrecks in our state. A 24/7 Wall Street report shows Louisiana one of the least taxed places to live in the country. We're tied for 5th in the least amount of taxes paid to local and state governments when compared to other states. LSU economist Dr. Jim Richardson says this state's been a low-tax state for years.
If you look at our property tax, it's very low compared to other states. If you look at our income tax, it's relatively low compared to other states, obviously except those states that don't have no income tax at all.
The report shows that state income tax collections per capita is the 13th lowest, and property tax collections the 8th lowest. Legislation that increases penalties for teachers who engage in sexual relationships with students goes before a Senate committee today. Bossier Senator Ryan Gaddy says it makes such an offense a felony. It also expands the law to include coaches and team managers and doctors. He says the bill was inspired by the sexual abuse charges against former USA gymnastics team doctor Larry Nasser.
Because we want these young ladies to know that this is serious, that if they get touched or fondled or someone molests them, that they need to come forward, turn them in, and that we are going to take it seriously.
New technology could be coming to Shreveport. In an effort to boost internet speeds and have all-around better connectivity, the city may soon be going 5G. Micro towers with 5G capabilities will be placed around the community and will allow more users to connect at higher speeds. Town hall meeting is tonight to talk about education across our community. Bishop Larry Brandon with Praise Temple says one message has to be clear. Educating children starts with the family.
It begins at home. There's some things that we can do with our children. It's important that our parents are getting involved. And then there are those single parents, they're challenged. However, that's why it said some community, using the village principles, the community get involved.
The meeting is at 6 tonight at Praise Temple. President Trump lashes out against special counsel Robert Mueller's Russia investigation, branding it an attack on our country. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
My name's Betty Mae.
State Attorney General Jeff Landry is here. Congressman Mike Johnson is here in studio both. You guys had one great big event last night at BIPC. Tell us about that. Tell us how it went. Tell us what you guys talked about.
Oh, it was great. I mean, we actually had two events. We had one in Webster, one in Bossier. The one in Webster went before the one in Bossier. It was great events, and it was an educational event. Oh, it was.
Ten past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Tuesday already. Where does the time fly? Traffic update. Brandon's here.
Looks like a mostly smooth commute this morning in the Shreveport-Bossier City area as no major accidents or slowdowns are being reported. But if you see something, make sure you let us know about it. Call us on the Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Pleasant today with sunshine and a high of 70. Clear and chilly, low 44 tonight. Sunshine and warmer, high 79 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
Have you ever spent a night on
State Attorney General Jeff Landry and Congressman Mike.
Censoring and silencing other viewpoints because we don't have to. We want more free speech. We want more vigorous debate because we have enough confidence in the truth. And everybody needs to recognize that. We respect everyone in their right to believe or not to believe. That's part of the beauty of America.
Louisiana State Attorney General Jeff Landry and Congressman Mike Johnson. Gentlemen, great to see you both as always. Doors are always open, and we hope to see you both again soon.
Keep up the great work.
You're running for governor, Jeff.
Good morning. It's 13 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. So Mark Zuckerberg is going to testify before the United States Senate today.
Is it swear in and
No,
promise
he
to
has
tell
to,
the truth?
let me read you what it says, because he has to tell the truth or he could face legal consequences. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg takes the stand before a joint congressional panel Tuesday, meaning today. He will not be under oath, but he will be required by federal statute to tell the truth. And if he lies, he could face serious legal consequences.
I think Senator John's on that committee. I think it's the judiciary and combination. I'm not sure.
A senior Senate GOP aide, the Joint Senate Judiciary Committee and Senate Commerce Committee.
That's our guy.
So there you go.
JK's on there.
It is not standard practice to swear witnesses in, and so they are not under oath, but they are required by law to tell the truth.
Ooh, he met behind closed doors with some senators yesterday.
I'm not saying the fix is in, because I would never say that about John Kennedy, because I don't believe that for a moment.
Right.
But for the powers, it's a show trial. What are they going to do? What are they going to do?
Oh.
They have no real power over him.
It's grandstanding.
Point.
Come on. It's
Point
grand.
made.
It's grand. What
So-
can they change about Facebook?
Well, you tell me, what is Zuckerberg going to change? Nothing.
I don't know. But you have, who's the Apple CEO? I'm not sure. Ruben might know. He's killed his Facebook account. He said he wants no more part of it. He's got.
Well, that's as much of it. That's as much grandstanding as anything else.
Yeah, I agree. They have all the information already. It's too late. That's what the one thing I've learned about Facebook is that they have everything. It's too late.
Said 100 years ago, and I don't know. We may have still been on KVKI, and because it was that long ago, I said this, and it was about governmental, the government spying on you and seeing everything you do. And I said, the government doesn't have to spy on us. We spy on ourselves.
Oh, absolutely. That's so true.
I mean, look. If you're at a restaurant, if you're at a bar, if you're at a movie theater, and somebody has a heart attack, everybody's first move in this day and age is not to call 911, is to start videotaping the guy dying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, so you got to ask yourself, what chunk of humanity has this digital world taken from us?
Right. Exactly. That's so true.
You know, you start to die, you grab your chest, you have a coronary occlusion, you go face down on the concrete, and the first thing somebody does is, get that on video so I can post it. Well, you want to call 911? Oh, yes, somebody will do that. No, they
Somebody
won't.
else will get it.
No, they won't anymore.
That's so sad. That's so sad.
So government doesn't have to spy on us. We spy on ourselves.
Yeah.
And yet, you and so many people are stunned by how Facebook works, or by finding, did you not realize?
I didn't realize to the extent the information they have. I mean, it's extraordinary.
But you've written it down. But you told them that. They didn't tie you to a chair, shine a light in your face, and beat you with a hose. You volunteered.
But I mean, every little thing I've clicked like on, they keep records of it.
But are you surprised? They tell you that.
I know. Who reads the fine print?
Look at
no
me.
one.
Look at me just a second. Think of it like this, okay? Facebook is a house, okay?
Yeah.
You are renting the house. Mark Zuckerberg is the landlord.
Mm-hmm. Every time I go in the fridge, he knows.
And when you signed the lease to rent Facebook, you gave him permission, just like a landlord, to do a walk through your property, his property, anytime he wants. Now, when you realize he's been doing a walk through your property, when you're at lunchtime, when you're at work, you're surprised.
Yeah.
When you click
he's doing a lot of walkthrough. I mean, he's going into my panty drawers, you know?
But you
Stay out of my panty drawers.
But you gave him permission. You said, go anywhere you want. Do anything you want with the information I put up here. And then when he makes money off of the information that you volunteer, you're pissed off. You don't get to. You signed the contract.
I don't need Mark Zuckerberg to know the model of my bra. I really don't.
But you told him he could. And not only did you tell him it could, you probably at some point told him what it was.
Oh, man. And he helps me shop for him now.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that.
Under the guise of, I'm here to help.
Playtex is best,
I'm
by the way.
here to help you, Erin.
Yeah.
Because I've got your best interests at heart. We don't. Government doesn't have to spy on us. We spy on ourselves.
We
We
take care of it.
volunteer every little bit of information about ourselves by everything we do. And then you're surprised when the people that you gave permission to use that information to make money off of you. Rush said last week, it was absolutely brilliant. He said, you're not the customer. You're the product.
Ooh, that's true.
When you go
Customers
online,
are his advertisers, right?
when you go to Facebook, you're not the customer. You're the product. You are what they are selling, and you, every step of the way, not only have given them permission, but you volunteered all of the information they have.
Boy.
Like I said, they haven't put a burlap. You haven't been waterboarded into giving up this info.
Well, why is he giving a public apology then?
Because it looks good. Because it's a show trial.
Because he's done something wrong? Has he done something wrong?
I'm sorry. We're going to change everything. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Well, look, they're claiming that Cambridge Analytica used the information to influence the election.
That's a lie. Well, I mean, in the sense that they use the information to target the voters. But look, I said this last week, and it is 100% true. When Mark Zuckerberg was giving away your information to the Democrat Party, he was a hero. He was being praised.
Yep.
The Democrats were geniuses for this new sort of voter analysis. He was brilliant. Now that they find out that he sold it to Republicans, he's the devil. So, I mean, you don't get it both ways.
Right, that's for sure. It'll be interesting to watch.
No, it won't.
I'm looking forward
Well,
to Kennedy.
I mean, nothing's gonna happen.
Is Kennedy going to have another whiz type comment?
Is the contract, is the deal that you have with Facebook in the next week or 10 days or 2 weeks, is there going to be a new little box that pops up when you go to your Facebook page? And it's going to say, Erin, we're really sorry that we have that we have harvested all of your information and sold it for profit. Or do you think it's going to be absolutely, what's going to change? Unless a new little box with a little check thing pops up. No, it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
His contract is not with Congress. His contract is not with the Senate. His contract is not with his deal is with you. And
Right.
you're the one that signed off. Not John Kennedy, not the Senate Judiciary Committee. 19 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic update. Here's Brandon Michael.
No major traffic incidents are slowing down your commute at this point in the Shreveport-Bossier City area, but that could change at any moment. When it does and you see it, make sure you let us know by calling us on the Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Pleasant today with sunshine and a high of 70. Clear and chilly, low 44 tonight. Sunshine and warmer, high 79 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Men.
Twenty-two past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Here's Fletch.
11:30 the Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The New Orleans Pelicans clinched their first playoff berth since 2015 with a 113-100 win over the Clippers in Los Angeles last night. Anthony Davis had 28 points, including a rim-rattling jam off a Rajon Rondo pass off the backboard to lead the way. The Pelicans can finish as high as the 4 seed in the West with a win over San Antonio in the regular season finale. Justin Verlander was dominant in 7 innings of work as Houston shut out Minnesota 2-0 Monday. The Astros ace fanned 9 to help his team climb to 9-2, the best 11-game record in franchise history. Carlos Correa had 2 hits and scored both runs. The Rangers were popped by the Red Hot Angels 8-3. Albert Pujols smashed his 616th tater of his career, not the season, to help the Halos improve to 8-3, their best start to a season in 3 decades, but yet they're still behind the Astros. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Hi, this is Troy Jones, Chief Engineer.
Twenty-four past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert and Erin at 6:40 this morning. Family therapist David McMillan joins us for a couple of minutes.
No, not 6:40. That's Congressman Mike Johnson.
7:40. Yeah, we'll replay Mike Johnson and thanks. We'll replay Mike Johnson and AG Jeff Landry.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
That was awesome stuff. So, what do you want to talk to David about?
David, well, yesterday I talked about what Patrick Reed, the Masters winner, my disgust for him, disdain for his no relationship with his parents or his sister.
And I had made the point, I said, yeah, that would seem to be the case, but it's interesting to me that at this point, there's one side of the story. You're getting his mother's side of the story. You're getting his parents' side of the story, and there's only one group. There's only one.
No, I'm getting college friends and coaches.
Not about the rift with his family. And the point I'm making was that he, for whatever reason, says, I'm a golfer. I'm not talking about it with you guys. And you said, well, there's no reason to ever be alienated from your mama.
And, man, did I get emails.
And what I said was, look, he doesn't, pardon me, he doesn't live with his mama. He doesn't sleep with his mama. He doesn't get up in the morning and have to make his mama happy anymore. So what response did you get, and from whom, if you want to tell us, if you want to skip the names, or tell me what you can tell us?
They don't want their names released, but I got several emails, and one said, my mother has a serious mental illness and is evil and tries to harm me and harm my wife and my children, tries to do damage, emotional damage, also physical damage. That, Erin, you really need to realize that not everyone is lucky like you are and has a great family structure.
Imagine a scenario where your daughter-in-law, because of something you do, whether real or imagined, but let's assume for the moment real, just cuts off contact with you and tells her husband no more contact. Can you imagine what that would have to be?
Oh, gosh. I can't imagine. I can't imagine a daughter-in-law.
Because whatever it was, this mom did it. I mean, I'm not saying the bar is as high for...
No. The wife did it. The wife cut off contact.
But why? It's not just because she said...
I don't know what happened.
See, that's the whole point.
We don't know.
And have you noticed that in none of the reports that have given Patrick Reed's parents' side of the story, nobody has said, well, what's it about? What happened? And the mom says...
My problem is it's Patrick and his wife, because he's also cut off contact with his sister.
I understand that. But the point I'm making is that you don't know. You're just assuming because you're getting one side of the story.
Sure.
I'm not saying Patrick Reed's not a jerk. I'm just saying there's two sides to everything.
Sure,
and
absolutely.
And the one side you're getting, I mean, the parents are saying, the mother is saying, well, we kind of felt like they were getting married too young. Now, does that sound like... If you sat when your younger son got married, and if you sat down and said, you know, I think you guys might be getting married too young, and I wish you'd think about it. Now, does that sound like something? Does that sound like something to the degree where she would stand up, break a vase, and say, "We're never talking to you again"?
No.
Okay,
no.
so there has to be a little more to the story than is being presented.
I still think every wound can be healed.
Not arguing
and
that.
some people say no,
Maybe.
it can't.
I'm just saying, whatever the wound is, it's probably a little more real or imagined. I mean, than what Patrick Reed's mom is presenting. Because we thought they might be getting married a little young. You don't cut off contact with your family for that.
Yeah.
You don't take sides. It doesn't become Gettysburg or Appomattox or Antietam. It doesn't turn into the Civil War over, we wish you kids would think about it and then get back to us. So, Mr. David, Dr. David, he's here at 7:40 talking about...
He's going to talk about when is it appropriate to cut off relations with your family. Should you? Are there some circumstances where you really should do that?
29 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. You're waving, yes?
Little did I know, I was at a hot spot Saturday night where there was a massive fight.
And it wasn't where you are a bar hopper.
Not a bar hopper.
In the course of an evening, you will go to 2 or 3 or 4 places.
Yes.
Where I go one place, I stay there, I go home. You go A, B, C, D.
No. It's always 2. It's a place to eat, and then it's a club.
A, B, C, D, and E.
So I was at Superior Bar and Grill late Saturday night.
That was probably D in the
No,
ranking.
that was our first stop.
And we'll talk about it when we get back.
What a fight!
29 past 6 o'clock. You did.
Not me.
29 past 6 o'clock. Brandon Michael, traffic update on KEEL.
So far this morning, roads look clear in the Shreveport-Bossier City area with no major accidents slowing traffic down. But if you see something, make sure you let us know by calling us on the Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Pleasant today with sunshine and a high of 70. Clear and chilly, low 44 tonight. Sunshine and warmer, high 79 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Hey, this
The power of information. KEEL News now.
A 24/7 Wall Street report shows Louisiana one of the least taxed places to live in the country. Louisiana taxpayers tied for 5th in the least amount of taxes paid to local and state governments when compared to other states. LSU economist Dr. Jim Richardson says there is some give and take when it comes to taxes paid.
The only tax that's high is our sales tax, and that just has to make up for it for the lower income and lower property taxes.
Lawmakers approved legislation to allow students to have a bulletproof backpack at school. West Monroe Senator Mike Walsworth says parents are looking at ways to make sure their children can protect themselves if a shooter enters the school. He says this is one option.
You can do it 2 ways. You can put a piece of metal inside the backpack. That costs about $50. The backpack themselves, it's got a different thing, would cost anywhere from $100, $150, maybe even $200.
The vote for the bill was 34-2. The measure now headed to the House. Shreveport police say crime is down so far this year. The first months of 2018 have seen a drop in violent crime. This time last year, the city had already had 9 homicides. This year so far, only 3. False alarm on a suspected mortar shell found locally. Reuben Wright with that.
Neighbors on Bienville Avenue in Shreveport had quite a shock yesterday afternoon when a suspected explosive device was found. A police corporal was waved down after the device was spotted around 12:30 yesterday afternoon. A large-scale investigation that included Barksdale's ordnance disposal team found the device was a non-explosive training device made to look like a mortar shell. Police say a man bought it at a scrapyard, having no idea what it was. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Reuben Wright.
Police arrest 2 Natchitoches women in connection with a money laundering scheme involving an incarcerated inmate. Tammy Warren and Aquelius Harris allegedly collected money from inmate Reginald Warren for drugs. Investigation turned up 4 pounds of crystal meth, 17,000 ecstasy pills, and 28 grand in cash. It seems odd we need a law for this, but the Senate approves a bill to make it clear bestiality is illegal in Louisiana. There's a law that says people cannot have sex with animals, but it's unenforceable because it's contained in legislation that was ruled unconstitutional because it had to criminalize sex between 2 men or women. Morrell says it's important the state has a way to arrest someone for bestiality.
This is serious, ladies and gentlemen. People who molest animals eventually graduate to children.
The measure passed on a 25-10 vote. Is now headed to the House. China filing a complaint with the World Trade Organization against U.S. tariffs on steel, aluminum products as well. The Geneva-based trade body says China has requested 60 days of consultations with the U.S. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg's 2-day congressional inquisition could be pivotal for his company. He visited with senators in closed-door meetings on Monday. He'll go before the committee today. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
So basically, the real WrestleMania this weekend was not in New Orleans.
Wow.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert and Erin, what are you looking at? What are you putting on KeelNews.com?
It is incredible video footage. I did not have a clue there was video footage, but I was at Superior Bar and Grill Saturday night, and all the buzz was there was a fight. There had been a fight there, and we didn't see the fight because we were waiting outside for a table, and when we came in,
what night was this?
Saturday night.
It was cold Saturday.
It was a little chilly, but we were fine.
It was 38 degrees.
I
You
had
were
my
outside,
fluffy thing on.
And you were drinking.
And then we came inside, and we were waiting up at the front. And this happened way at the back in that corner table in the back.
On the patio.
Not on the patio.
Not on the patio.
No, this was inside the restaurant, way in the back toward the kitchen.
Okay.
And there was a big table. It looks like a table of 10 people. And then a man approaches the table, and you can see that he and another guy, one of the guys is sitting down, and he and the guy are getting into some sort of verbal altercation. And then you see it get physical, where he grabs the guy around the throat. He's like trying to choke him.
Yeah.
And then punches start flying. And then one of the guys who's sitting up against the wall stands up and comes flying over the table into this other group of men. And they are swinging and punching, and it was a big old fight. It was unbelievable.
So how long did it last? What were the results? I mean,
well,
not like there was a winner, but
they hauled several off to jail. I'm not sure how many, but when I left the restaurant about midnight, when we walked outside, I was with a large group too, and when we walked outside, there were still 2 police cars there. They were still cleaning up the mess. I mean, it was a big mess. It was a big table of 10 or 12 people.
And they
all got up and just kind of scattered like mice.
And those tables in that part of the restaurant are not all that far apart.
Oh, no, and it was slammed Saturday night. I mean, it was my longest wait in my life ever for a table at Superior, because usually we can get in and out pretty quick. We waited quite a while Saturday night. But if you want to see the video, give me about 2 more minutes, and it'll be at KEELnews.com. This was amazing. And you know, I've been there a lot. I've never seen anything like this. Nothing like this. This was incredible.
638, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL traffic and weather updates. Let's go a little early. Brandon Michael, traffic time on KEEL.
Smooth commute this morning in the Shreveport-Bossier City area as no major accidents or slowdowns are being reported. But if you see something, make sure you let us know about it. Call us on the Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Pleasant today with sunshine and a high of 70. Clear and chilly, low 44 tonight. Sunshine and warmer, high 79 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
I'm Jimmy Granger. You know me.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, the KEEL app, a free download presented by Office Furniture Source. Yesterday, what was it, about 7:40, we had Congressman Mike Johnson and State Attorney General Jeff Landry. You know what was the best part of that? Toward the end, and we clipped this from the replay we're getting ready to have. But at the end, you said, you know, all the time, you still live in this fantasy world where we're going to trick somebody. And it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Like if I ask him real fast, are you running for governor? He's going to go, yeah, you got me, Erin. Yes, I am. No, I'm not.
I'll try.
No. The way it worked, here's basically what it was you asked one more thing. And you said it real, going to run for governor? And Mr. Jeff looked and he goes,
I'm running to my house.
No.
Yeah.
Did you hear how
fall for
at
that.
first he goes,
no. He doesn't fall for that.
No. It's
I gotta try. I know. A for effort.
It's gonna be it's gonna be him or Kennedy. Don't you assume?
Oh, absolutely.
One of the two?
No doubt.
So Mr. Landry and Mr. Johnson, Messrs. Johnson and Landry were here yesterday. Fresh off of Sunday night's get together, the forum, the rally at Bossier Parish Community College, and it was about the prayer in schools, what's the mess that's going on in Bossier, so to speak, and we started off with that, talking about the rally Sunday night and how great it was and how great the turnout was, and you guys had an awesome time, right?
Oh, it was great. I mean, we actually had 2 events. We had one in Webster, one in Bossier. The one in Webster went before the one in Bossier. It was great events. And it was an educational event. You know, it was an opportunity for us to discuss with people the fact that your First Amendment does not leave you irrespective of the institution you're going to. So whether you're in a public square, in a public school, you have a First Amendment right.
Mike, what is the biggest, because I know that you have a long history as a constitutional attorney, what is the biggest misunderstanding, not only that parents and or students have about what their rights to prayer are and religious expression, but even more specifically, school administrators and teachers and people in charge? There's a lot of confusion out there. And there have been some radical, what I call radical secularist organizations that for decades now have engaged in a campaign of fear and intimidation and misinformation. And they have really had some great success. They've confused a whole generation of Americans that they somehow have to surrender their First Amendment freedoms, their right to religious expression at the schoolhouse gate. But that's the exact opposite of what the law says. And what we did at the event last night was remind everybody the law is still on your side. Exercise your rights. You should do it.
Can a kid pray in class?
Of course, yeah.
Out loud before he takes a test?
Yeah.
Yes.
The rule of thumb is, and we put it in our publication, Jeff and I co-published this publication, Louisiana Student Rights Review. It's available at his website and at the website istandwithbossier.com. But yes, the answer is yes. Any student-led, student-initiated religious expression is totally constitutional.
But
the
it's
law has
going to
never prevented
offend
that.
another student in the class, Mike.
Well, right, but as we
Come
explained last
on.
night, the price of free speech and living in a free country is that, oh my goodness, sometimes you have to be exposed to voices and viewpoints that you may not agree with, but that's the beauty of free speech.
Jeff, can the teacher lead the prayer?
Well, no, the teacher can't lead the prayer. That's the big no-no. And of course, that's why, look, it's great to have a partner like Mike. He really is. He helps, I tell people all the time, he kind of helps keep me in between the ditches, you know. Being from South Louisiana, it's hard for me to stay on the road.
Y'all are always on the ditches, yeah.
But, you know, that's why we put this manual together. It's exactly why we put it together, because it can't be initiated by the teachers. But it can be student-led, and that is the number one rule of thumb, is that if it's student-led, if it's student-participated, they can absolutely engage in it. And you got to remember, the First Amendment protects the minorities, right? Maybe someone who's offended by that, as much as it protects the majority to be able to get their point of view and their faith out as well.
Let me ask y'all this, because this bothers me to my core. At a graduation, a high school graduation, they always have a preacher up there and they pray. Is that safe? Is that still safe? Or extracurricular stuff, is that going to be safe?
The courts have ruled on graduation that if it's student-led, student-initiated, so if the valedictorian is chosen to speak at every graduation and the valedictorian gets up and says, you know what, I want to talk about the importance of my faith and how it's guided my academic success, perfectly constitutional. No one can stop them because it's their private speech. The difference is when the speech becomes the speech of the state, quote unquote. Now, student organizations, the other question, can you have a religious club on campus? Absolutely, and the Federal Equal Access Act and the Constitution protect the rights of all these religious organizations to have the exact same access as everybody else.
That is where the biggest misunderstanding is, especially by school administrators and school board members, et cetera, because you see at least a couple stories every month where school districts, out of, dare I say, ignorance, are squashing the freedom of expression.
Out of fear, and that's the whole problem, that we have a generation that has this sort of allergic knee-jerk reaction to all things religious, and oh my gosh, we got to run in and sanitize that out of the public square. Exactly the opposite of what the founders intended, and exactly the opposite of what the law requires.
Intimidation is the number one, I would think, tactic used by, the number one that comes to mind is the Freedom from Religion Foundation.
Those are Mike's buddies.
Right, which is almost like an oxymoron of it itself in regards to the First Amendment.
Did you just call someone a moron?
I mean, be careful. That doesn't go over well here. Literally, if there is a cloud formation in the shape of a cross over a school, they call and threaten to sue.
No, that's right.
What advice? I know that I don't know what your relationship has been with Mr. Smith or Bossier through all of this.
I used to be one of their lawyers. I've defended them and other school districts around the country on this.
But what advice do you have for school districts who don't want to be intimidated by these bully tactics?
Well, we had the board members in Bossier and Webster stand up at both events yesterday for applause, to encourage them and to really congratulate them for their willingness to take a stand. They are doing that. They understand what the law is, and they're fighting tooth and nail to preserve students' rights to religious expression and all their other freedoms.
Because just because the Freedom from Religion Foundation or some other bluntly put, anti-religious group, just because they might call you doesn't mean necessarily the law's on their side.
Exactly. Absolutely. Right. And they win by default all the time, Robert, around the country, and that's why we need Christian board members and all Americans to understand what the Constitution provides, what the law is, and take that stand where they're able to. And the board is doing that in both of these parishes. We're grateful for it.
Go ahead, Mr. Jeff.
And that's exactly why we put the manual together. The manual is designed not only for students. It says it's titled the Students' Rights Review, but it's important that principals, superintendents, board board members and parents read this manual as well, because it will give them a great understanding of the First Amendment rights that exist inside the schoolhouse.
The big problem I have, Mike and Jeff, is that these lawsuits cost a lot of money, and yet it's great to have school boards that will defend. But that's taking money right out of the class, money that we could be spending in the classroom.
No, that's exactly right. And so what they have to do is be wise as serpents, gentle as doves, as Scripture would tell us, right? And so they have to stay within the legal guidelines. And when a line has been crossed, they have to acknowledge it and fix it, adopt the policies. Bossier and Webster in the process of revising their written policies that hadn't been updated in a few years, and they're going to do all that. That's going to moot the case. It should, and it should take it out of the taxpayers' concern, and it should get them safely within the lines. But at the same time, they're going to stand vigorously for the students' rights to religious expression, the right to have faith on campus. The Supreme Court says it can happen, and it needs to happen. That's what we're trying to do as well.
So what is next, not only for Bossier, but a lot of school districts and schools across the state? And I would think, based on last night, you made a lot of people feel better to know that the state attorney general's office is behind them.
Exactly, and you know that was something when I was campaigning 3 years ago. When I would go around the state, I'd talk to superintendents, talk to school board members and parents, and they wanted to know. And this was a project that Mike and I decided to work on together. Like I said, he's a great partner, and we're hoping that this pamphlet, this manual, actually becomes a cornerstone for a movement that allows people to understand their First Amendment rights. And that, guess what? You can live out your faith inside the public square and inside the public schoolhouse.
Let me ask you about this. A football game. I have a kid playing. I would like to hear a prayer over the intercom to pray for the boys that are playing. Is that allowed or not allowed?
If it's student-led. You know, look, I grew up in high school.
But you're using the public address system that's paid for by the school board.
But if it's student-led, it's certainly a First Amendment right.
Yeah, so the idea is you have welcoming remarks by a student chosen on the basis of neutral criteria. Let's say the student body president or some other selection, and they go to the microphone and they spontaneously say, "I'd like to lead us all in an opening prayer for the players in the game." And they do that. No one can stop them because that's their constitutional right. On the other hand, if the school district sets it up
and puts it in the program and all that,
then it becomes school speech, quote unquote, and that's a different
So y'all
thing.
are giving us a little secret on how to do it around the rules.
Well, we're following the law precisely,
Okay.
and that's exactly see, because Aaron, there's so much confusion about it. That's why these events are so important. It was so well attended, and both parishes were so excited about that. That's why these materials are being distributed around the state. Every superintendent going everywhere, and today we're wearing these blue lines on our hands. You see this? Today is the day. All the students in Bossier and Webster are drawing a blue line on their hand to symbolize that they're going to take a stand. And they're going to stand for their rights. They're drawing a line, and that's the big symbolism today. I was at Benton High School just a few moments before I got here. Huge crowd. The FCA there's got a bunch of kids, and they're going around the school drawing lines. It's really a great exercise in free speech and the Constitution.
So what's next for you, and what's next for the Attorney General's office on this topic?
Well, one of the things I would encourage school boards and school board members and superintendents that want to understand exactly what type of policies they can put in place that safeguard students' rights to exercise their faith. They can contact our office. Mike and I will be more than happy to work with them to create policies that will help ward off some of these suits.
Is this a problem across the state, Jeff? I know Bossier's been kind of the epicenter, but do you have this going on in other parishes?
Look, I think it's a problem across the country. I believe there's been this great chilling effect, and people out there are just confused as to what exactly they couldn't do, and they've been intimidated.
Confused and intimidated.
Intimidated.
Right.
Absolutely. There's no doubt that there's been a tremendous amount of pressure from the left to intimidate people to basically squash our faith in and around this country in the public square. But guess what? This is the way that you can know your right, and you have an opportunity to exercise your right.
What if let's take the other side, just for grins a minute. What if I'm a family that I'm an atheist? I don't want my child in a classroom where there's student-led prayer or any kind of prayer. What are my options for my child?
You can homeschool.
Well,
I mean, no, look, I mean, the fact of the matter is that those parents cannot infringe upon the other students' rights to express their First Amendment. Just like we can't infringe upon their right to profess the fact that they're atheists, right?
We have this thing in the law called the heckler's veto. There's no such thing as a heckler's veto. The First Amendment does not give you a right not to be offended.
Let me put it more blunt. Hey, snowflake, sit down.
Well, basically, right.
Can I leave the classroom during the prayer? Can we make?
Of course, yeah. Everybody has an equal right. The Christian kid has the same right as the atheist kid, the Buddhist, the Jewish student, whatever. Everybody has the same right. We have to respect one another. We really highlighted that at these events yesterday. I spent a big portion of my talk talking about how we're going to stand for our freedom, but we do it in a respectful manner because we believe in the free marketplace of ideas, and conservatives and Christians are not about censoring and silencing other viewpoints because we don't have to. We want more free speech. We want more vigorous debate because we have enough confidence in the truth. And everybody needs to recognize that. We respect everyone in their right to believe or not to believe. That's part of the beauty of America.
653, 1017 FM, 710 Keel traffic time. Here's Brandon.
On your commute at this point in the Shreveport-Bossier City area, but that could change at any moment. When it does and you see it, make sure you let us know by calling us on the Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Pleasant today with sunshine and a high of 70. Clear and chilly, low 44 tonight. Sunshine and warmer, high 79 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
Men, are
Good morning, 655. Robert and Erin, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Who is Andy Fisher, and why is he part of this radio program today?
He's with the Better Business Bureau, and he's got some tips for you if you have some roof damage, car damage.
This is awesome.
Who you should be going to.
Hold on, bucko. Let me see if I have time for this. We've got about 30 seconds. Okay. Was a sign on, there's a red bucket on somebody's door, and it says Roofing Bucket Lotto. Put your flyer here. Drawing will be held May 10th. Need not be present to win. If you ring the doorbell or knock, you will be disqualified from the drawing.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, we got to go to Rush. Here's Rush right now on Keel.
families. Matthews then blames Orange County for abandoning a plan that would house hundreds of homeless people in temporary shelters in Huntington Beach, Laguna Niguel, and Irvine after protests. People in those cities do not want the homeless or illegal immigrants in shelters there. He says protecting its own immigrants and providing housing for its own people should not be a heavy lift for a wealthy county with 3.2 million people. And that's what he's really mad at. Orange County is wealthy and they want to go their own way. What Mr. Matthews and his fellow leftists don't want to grasp is Orange County officials did exactly what they were elected to do: uphold the law and represent the values of their community. Now, like it or not, Mr. Matthews, people who live in communities you call wealthy are just as entitled to representation by those they elect as you are. You know who's long been betrayed when it comes to illegal immigration? The voters of Orange County. And they finally had enough. And they're standing up against the state. And it's about damn time. Today's technology makes things easier because everything's connected. Your cell phone, your tablet, even your smart TV, all connected to one account. And they're all connected to your Wi-Fi. It only takes just one weak link for a cyber thug criminal to break in and obtain your data. And that's why the new LifeLock Identity Theft Protection now adds the power of Norton security to your devices. Now, while LifeLock uses proprietary technology to detect threats to your identity, the addition of Norton security helps protect up to 5 of your devices from online threats. And if there's a problem, LifeLock's agents will work to fix it. Now, of course, no one can prevent all identity theft or cybercrime or monitor all transactions in all businesses. But new LifeLock with Norton gives you more protection for today's connected world. Join now, get 10% off your first year. Go online to lifelock.com and enter the promo code RUSH. That's lifelock.com. Remember, promo code RUSH.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 1017 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport. The KEEL Morning Show with Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Breaking news and trending talk on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Good morning. It's 7:03. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL down there. Erin has local news up next.
Talking about crime in Shreveport, some of the numbers are down. Are we really one of the least taxed places in the state? We'll talk about that coming up, too. And Baltimore temperatures, 40 degrees. A naked jogger did something shouldn't have done.
I'm sorry, I'm here.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Did they get stuck to something? Oh, never mind. Andy Fisher is from the Better Business Bureau. There's a lot of roofers going around, and they all want to help. What should you look for, and what should you avoid? Fletcher in sports and traffic and weather, and it's all coming up this hour, and it's right here on KEEL.
The clock is ticking.
10 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM and 710 Keel traffic update. Brandon's here.
Here in the Shreveport-Bossier City area with no major accidents slowing traffic down. But if you see something, make sure you let us know by calling us on the Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Today, clouds will break for a little sun, high near 70. Turning out clear to partly cloudy, low 47 tonight, sunny, high 70 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
Every business needs great.
Good morning. It's 12 past 7 o'clock. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Earthquake down there. You okay?
No, I just moved my hip.
Banging stuff. Ooh, don't throw your hip out again. It's not like you're Tony Finau down there. We can't pop that sucker back in.
Yeah.
12 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. The Keel app, a free download from Office Furniture Source. Mr. Andy Fisher is the president and CEO of the local Better Business Bureau. Hey, Mr. Andy, how are you today?
Good morning to both of y'all. Glad to involve the VBB.
Andy, the roofers and other companies are going door to door after the hail. You have some words of caution to people who may have had some hail damage from Friday night.
Are these really roofers?
Well, that's what you need to check out. Anytime we have a storm like we had Friday night, you're going to have what we call storm chasers that come into our area from some other area. And you need to go to the BBB, and we have the website of bbb.org/Shreveport, and you can check out any roofer. If we don't have any records on them, then you would know that that you could have a problem. But we vet those roofers. In other words, they have to have a license. They have to be licensed through the state, and we can tell what kind of reviews or complaints that they've had. So you can check out that roofer. But what I would suggest to you is that contact your insurance agent and be sure that everything is lined up. Let him tell you what to do. And then get a list of the roofers, and you can get the list from the BBB.
I'm looking at your site now, where at bbb.org, and I just put in the word roofing in your search box, and it lists them, and it gives their rating, whether they're A+ or not. It really is very helpful, and it took two seconds.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Okay, should I pay roofers money up front, or should I wait till the job's done?
No. What we suggest is that you don't pay them any more than 30% in the front. And most of your roofers in Shreveport are reliable, been in business for some time, and don't, request anything. But if they do, don't give them more than 30%, and don't pay them the full amount until they're finished.
Mr. Andy, though, these fly-by-night guys, maybe that's too strong a term, I don't know, but these fly-by-night, knock-at-your-door unsolicited guys, obviously there is some appeal to their pitch or what they offer, or it wouldn't be a problem. What's the sell? What are they pitching? What is the upside that makes people fall for some of these for some of these scams?
They get in a hurry, Robert. They want to get their job done quickly, and that's what we tell you, to take your time, search the website for a reliable roofer, and these people are trying to make a quick dollar, and just take your time, be patient.
The damage, do you hear about the widespread damage? I mean, do you get reports from how many people are making claims? Do you have any information about that at all?
I don't have the information on that other than that the weather people tell me that I live in University Terrace, and we got it big time. And I think most of along Uri Drive got it. So it is pretty widespread, and I think that you're going to see all types of contractors come in here trying to do business.
What about the car damage? I saw a car at the gas station yesterday that literally looked like a golf ball.
That's right. If they were outside and in this area, they got dinged. And again, check with the insurance agent. Be sure that the collision people are vetted and a member of the BBB, and go to them and get your truck or car.
Now, my brother lives down by Bickham-Dixon Park. He had, I think it was the first 6 or 8 hours of the next day, he had like 3 or 4 unsolicited knocks at the door. You're president, CEO of the Better Business Bureau, but you were in the heavy storm area. Anybody tapping at Andy's door?
Not yet, but I've seen signs out on the corners, of different roofing companies, and they've already started advertising. I think they're overwhelmed right now, Robert. I think there's so much damage and so much roofing that has to be redone that they're just not out there yet.
Andy Fisher with the Better Business Bureau. Should you get a couple of opinions?
I would say if you got 2 or 3, get it in writing, and if possible, pay it with a credit card.
Why?
If there is a problem with the payment, then you have some recourse through the credit card.
Oh, interesting. I hadn't even thought of that. But don't pay more than 30%. I was told by a friend who owns a roofing company that her company, which is on your list, is an A-plus business. They don't take a penny up front. That's going to be the case with a lot of them, huh?
That's most of your legitimate roofers are that way. They do. Don't require that down payment.
When the unsolicited knocks at the door come, how exactly do they pitch that as relates to somebody's insurance company? And if I thought I had a problem with the roof or if I had hail damage, first thing I do is I'd call my Farm Bureau guy. What do the knocks? Right. What do the knocks on the door people tell people?
Robert, the main thing that we suggest is just do not discuss anything with someone that knocks at your door.
But I guess my question was, what do the people who are the what did you call them at the beginning? The what roofers? The
storm chasers.
The storm chasers. When they start knocking at people's doors, what's their pitch that sort of circumvents people's insurance companies?
They can do it right away. In other words, they can do your job for you one day this week or something like that, where the roofers here in Shreveport may take a month to get to you.
And don't sign the contract, right? Because that's just as many have said, you've got a thunderbolt in your hand and it's called your signature.
That's right. Get your contract in writing.
And Andy, the estimates should be free, right? Nobody should be charging you.
That's correct. That's
okay.
Correct.
Thank you so much. It's good information. A lot of folks need to know about it. I got my roofers coming now because I got a fresh, brand spanking new roof. I want to make sure it's still good to go.
Yeah.
Good luck to you.
There's a story. Yeah, good luck to her is the perfect phrase. Thank you, Mr. Andy. We
Thanks,
appreciate
Andy.
it.
Take care.
19 past 7 o'clock.
Remember, tell them that bbb.org/Shreveport.
Got it.
Check out all the roofers.
Gotcha. Thank you. Traffic update. Here's Ruben.
No major traffic incidents are slowing down your commute at this point in the Shreveport-Bossier City area, but that could change at any moment. When it does and you see it, make sure you let us know by calling us on the Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Today, clouds will break for a little sun, high near 70, turning out clear to partly cloudy, low 40.
21 past 7 o'clock, time for Keel Sports. Here's Fletch.
Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher. The New Orleans Pelicans.
Twenty-three past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Robert and Erin. Keel app's a free download from Office Furniture Source at about 7:40. Family therapist David McMillan is here.
I got a Mia Coopa, Maximum Coopa.
You have no idea what you're saying, do you?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's not what that means.
Something like, I don't know.
No, it's not something, not even something like that.
It's some Latin or Spanish or...
Mea culpa.
That's it.
Mea maxima culpa.
That's it, yeah.
Through my fault, through my most grievous fault.
That's it.
So what does that have to do with anything?
Well, I said some things yesterday on the radio that I probably shouldn't have.
What?
Which happens every now and then.
I don't believe that for a moment.
You know, every now and then I'm a moron and I do things silly.
I'm insane.
Yeah. Governor wants to come on. Well, his people want to come on.
No. Look, we talked about that yesterday a little bit. And they got back in touch with us again about the "is the governor insane" comment, which I said yesterday. That's not who I am.
They're not happy with you.
That's not who I am.
They don't like that apology.
I take responsibility for my actions.
That's not, I'm sorry.
It's time to move on. So
it's not time to move on. They want to move on the air.
That's just not who I am, and I accept full responsibility. Yeah. After that, it's time to move on. So Erin got another email from somebody in the governor's office, and it was basically they wanted to come on and talk about whatever it was, the issues that Robert had raised.
I'm trying to find it.
Was the phraseology they used.
Yeah.
And I said, look, it's if he wants to come on and talk about the governor's tax policy or the special session, I said, but to have somebody come on and just like chew me out. I mean, you already got chewed out.
Yeah.
You know, by that lady from the. This is the second time we've had to call about something like that. But I mean, nobody likes getting chewed out. I'm almost 66 years old. I don't need to get chewed out by like the number 5 guy in whatever his press pyramid is.
Yeah. He said, "Hey, Erin, hope you had a good weekend."
Hey, Erin, see, he's friendly to you.
Likes me.
Yeah.
Well, he's forgiven me. Would you guys be interested in having me on this week to talk about some of the issues that Robert has raised on the show?
How did he write my name?
Robert
Yeah,
has raised on the show. I'd love the opportunity to talk to you guys and particularly address some of the claims Robert has made on the air.
The claims are that he wants another special session.
I know you talked to Shauna last week, so we'd love to set the record straight on some of it. Look forward to hearing from you.
The claim is that he wants another special session, and that's like sort of on the record.
I replied, absolutely, we're open. I gave him some time choices. Haven't heard back.
Well, and you also said at my suggestion, what do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I said, what are the issues you want to talk about?
I said, I
no response.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
They will today.
Yeah, we'll hear from them today.
I wonder, and I would love to ask him this, although they probably wouldn't talk about it. So how many calls do you make a week?
Do you call Moon every day?
How many of those calls do you make a week where you say, we heard something you said, we saw something you wrote, and we don't like it and don't think it was fair?
I talked to our buddies in Lafayette. They never get that call. They never get that call from the governor's office.
I mean,
are we like burrs under his butt saddle or whatever?
No, to the contrary. That would be Moon. But they never call Moon and complain because they know it falls on deaf ears.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, I want you to think about this. Then why would they call us? If
they think they can strong arm us or something. I don't know.
I don't know that that's it.
They think they could influence us maybe? I'm not sure.
You tell me. Think about it.
I don't know.
They don't call Moon. They haven't called Lafayette, although I don't know what Cape Hill, our station down there,
I'm not sure.
might have or might not have said.
They keep an eye out. They protect the brand, and the governor is the brand.
The shield. What's the NFL phrase?
Always protect the shield.
Protect the shield, and John Bell is the shield.
I just, I've invited him on. We'll see. I think we're probably going to be persona non grata with the governor for a little while. Don't expect a birthday call this year.
I just don't want to get yelled at.
I just want him to call you and sing happy birthday.
Like
kiss and make up.
You get yelled at. He doesn't even know. 28 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. David McMillan, family therapist, joins us in about 10 minutes.
Oh, did I step in some poop yesterday?
Not necessarily. We talked about Masters winner Patrick Reed and the fact that he is alienated from his parents and his family. And the point I made was it's interesting that you are getting one side of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what side is right, what side is wrong. Patrick Reed has chosen not to fight that battle in the media. For whatever reason, his family has chosen that they are going to tell their side of the story.
Right.
And there is a media who more than willing to listen and regurgitate it.
Right.
Now, they may be 100% right. He may be 100% wrong. But you know what? In real life, that hardly ever happens.
Yeah.
29 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic update just ahead of local news. Here's Brandon Michael.
Are slowing down your commute at this point in the Shreveport-Bossier City area, but that could change at any moment. When it does and you see it, make sure you let us know by calling us on the Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Pleasant today with sunshine and a high of 70. Clear and chilly, low 44 tonight. Sunshine and warmer, high 79 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Golfers, listen.
Okay, I'm a little puzzled by this, and we don't have a lot of time. We'll discuss this in more detail just past 8 o'clock, I promise. 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, Robert and Erin, 735. Who was it that said, was it a Democrat or a Republican who said Louisiana is one of the lowest taxed states in America?
That was Dr. Barry Richardson with the LSU. He's an economist with LSU in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
I would like to get him on the phone. I'm going to try.
What's his politics?
Well, he helped do the tax study that John Bell kept pushing for. And he said, y'all need to look at the tax study that Dr. Richardson did. Dr. Richardson's got, his finger on the pulse.
Yeah.
But
so what's the combined sales tax in Shreveport?
Over 10%.
The highest in the state.
Yeah, actually, it's among the highest in the country.
What was that?
It's among the highest in the country, I must say. Okay. Our sales tax is way too high.
Now, we've
got to get a handle on it.
Well, that penny rolls off at the end of June, which is why so many down in Baton Rouge on the governor's side and a few Republicans, bluntly phrased, that's why they are looking for at least that quarter penny sales tax, something to pick up the penny that rolls off, the temporary at the end of June. Robert Shadowin was the state senator. Pardon me, the state senator from Ruston area.
I think so. Yeah.
That we had on. And look, I've said this a bunch of times before, and it does in fact come down to this: when politicians want to raise taxes, in effect what they're saying is, I think it's better that I have your money than you do.
House member, FYI.
Sorry. But what they're saying is, I think it's better, I can do a better job with your cash than you can.
Yeah.
You're keeping too much of your money, that there's people in Louisiana who there are people other than you in Louisiana who deserve your money more than you do, and I am the guy to see to it that it gets spread out.
Right.
I mean, there's certainly another side to that, and if John Bell's guy wants to come on, and I'm sure that's the side he would make. But at the end of the day, when somebody wants to raise your taxes, what they're saying is, we don't have enough of your money.
Yeah.
For the services that you have decided, or worse, we have decided that you need. You need to give us more of your cash.
Yeah.
No, I know. We're giving you a lot right now, and look what I'm getting. What are you going to do? What are you going to do if I give you more money for roads? Because right now, it's you're not knocking it out of the park with what I'm giving you.
No, you're right. We've got to get a handle on our spending and our tax structure.
And bluntly put, with the genesis of my remark about the insanity of another special session, if the reason you keep needing special sessions is because the previous special sessions haven't accomplished whatever you want, that hasn't accomplished it, right? So if the makeup of the legislature hasn't changed in the least, why do you want another special session? What's the purpose? What's the point, other than to wear people down? And why would you want another one? Because the reason you need another one is because you haven't gotten what you want.
Sure.
And you had another one, and how many? I mean, how many is this? 4 or 5? 3 or 4?
I'm not sure.
They all seem to run together, and I am sure if you're a legislator, you feel the same way. A legislator, you feel the same way.
Right.
But obviously, it ain't working. And if it ain't working, why have another one? If the people who make up the legislator, who are shooting you in the toes, so to speak.
Well, the problem is that July 1st, the new budget has to be approved, and right now, it's got massive cuts.
But if you've got the same people in the legislature who haven't given you what you wanted before in your special sessions, what's the purpose of another special session?
You got to approve the budget.
739, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel traffic update right now. Here's Brandon.
To report, but if that changes and you see something, make sure you let us know by calling us on the Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Pleasant today with sunshine and a high of 70. Clear and chilly, low 44 tonight. Sunshine and warmer, high 79 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
Take command of
Good morning, 741. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL. The KEEL app, a free download from Office Furniture Source. David McMillan is a therapist, family therapist, and the host of Strategies for Living, heard nightly, weeknights on KEEL from 7 till 8. Hey, Mr. David, how have you been? Thank you for joining us.
Oh, you bet, Mr. Robert. How have you been?
Getting younger every day, as I know you are also. But that's a segment for another time. Erin is feeling, I don't want to say a little guilty. She's feeling a little, well, let's let her explain. What is the source of your guilt this morning?
Well, I've gotten several emails, David, because yesterday I talked about this Patrick Reed kid who won the Masters. Right. And I started reading a little bit about him, and he's had a troubled college years. He got married young. His parents really cautioned him about marrying so young.
Excuse me. He was 23 or 24 when he got married.
I read 22, but that's okay.
Okay, but go
his
ahead.
parents were very upset by how young he was getting married. Anyway, They were not invited to his wedding. In fact, the wife had them kicked off of a golf course where he was playing. He's estranged from his family, mom and dad and his sister. And I thought, there's no reason. And he's winning the Masters. They live in Augusta. They were not allowed to be there to watch him win the Masters. I thought, there's nothing that could be so bad to keep you estranged from a family member. Well, when I said that, my email blew up, David, from people who, hey, my mom is toxic. I cannot have a relationship with my mom or my dad or my sister. That's accurate, huh? I don't live in that world. I didn't realize.
No, you came from a great family, Erin. But yeah, unfortunately, 25 plus years of practicing family therapy, and you listen to the stories, and you realize there are all kinds of family situations out there. And here's the deal: we don't know. One side of this obviously is going to talk about their story in the media. The other side is right now choosing not to. Mm-hmm. Family relationships are complex, and so we don't know. We don't know what's going on there. But you may be, Erin. You may be kind of moving on the commandment, honor your father and your mother.
Sure.
I'm just guessing that. Do you know that's a bad translation?
Is it?
Yeah.
What is it really supposed to be?
If you take it back to the original Hebrew, a better translation of honor your father and mother is know where you came from, know your story. The Jewish people are people of the story. They tell the story in their liturgy every year, over and over. And, respect goes two ways in families. Just because you give birth doesn't automatically mean that you get respect.
Who should be cut out of your life? At what point, what is such a grievous sin that you would cut someone out, or you should cut them out for your own health?
Well, if they're abusive. And that has come up. I've not read extensively, nor do I know much about this family, obviously, but there has been an allegation raised by Mr. Reed's wife, Justine, that the parents were abusive. I have no way of knowing if that's true or not. But if there is some type of abuse, that might be a time to consider making a boundary there. Okay, well, you can't hurt me anymore if I don't let you close in. Now, having said that, I'm all about forgiveness. I love the, forgiveness, but, forgiveness is also not forgetting. It's what really defines us is the choices we make, using our voice, and putting down boundaries. I mean, we all live in this crazy world that has everybody in it between Mother Teresa and Jeffrey Dahmer, right?
Mm-hmm, sure.
So we have to define ourselves. How do we do that? By choice, voice, boundaries, and balance.
David, Erin has talked a couple of days as we have discussed this about what could happen, that what would what could possibly occur that would create a gap so large that a chasm, an emotional chasm, that you couldn't bridge that? And I'm going to use sort of a political analogy for a second, and it has to do with Republicans negotiating with Democrats. And let's use immigration as that analogy. How do you negotiate with somebody who's for open borders when you don't believe in open borders? Let's use that as a familial analogy. How do you begin to put things back together when the stance of someone else is so beyond anything you could ever live with? Or do you just not?
Well, I think you keep conversation flowing and open, Robert. I mean, look at the word conversation and think about another word that it's similar to, conversion. One of the things that you guys talk about all day long, every day, is we live in such a polarized society. I mean, conversation, I think, true conversation, where it's open and we're really listening to each other and seeking to understand each other. Perhaps that's rare in our culture.
I mean, can generations, can families, can they coexist with different points of view if there's ground rules, i.e., here's something we just never, ever, ever talk about?
Absolutely. We can hear each other, we can seek to understand each other, and we can even validate each other without agreeing with one another. And as long as the conversation continues, we perhaps both sides move towards some place of conversion. Maybe we can work on you and the governor in y'all's relationship.
Right now, it's kind of persona non grata, David.
That's not who I was. I accept responsibility for my actions. It's time to move on, David.
David, thank you so much. Folks can listen to you every evening, Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 p.m., Strategies for Living. Great show, and thanks for joining us this morning.
Hey, you bet. Anytime, guys.
749, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Time for traffic. Brandon's here.
Most major roadways in the Shreveport-Bossier City area are clear for your commute right now, with no accidents or traffic situations to report. But if that changes and you see something, make sure you let us know by calling us on the Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Pleasant today with sunshine and a high of 70. Clear and chilly, low 44 tonight. Sunshine and warmer, high 79 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
Right now, 52 degrees, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty on the way just after. Do we have a guest on the agenda for 8:10, or are we going to discuss in more detail?
We are negotiating it now.
Mark Zuckerberg testifying, but not under oath, before the Senate Judiciary Committee today. 7:52. Sports time on KEEL. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The New Orleans Pelicans clinched their first playoff berth since 2015 with a 113-100 win over the Clippers in Los Angeles last night. Anthony Davis had 28 points, including a rim-rattling jam off a Rajon Rondo pass off the backboard to lead the way. The Pelicans can finish as high as the 4 seed in the West with a win over San Antonio in the regular season finale. Justin Verlander was dominant in 7 innings of work as Houston shut out Minnesota 2-0 Monday. The Astros ace fanned 9 to help his team climb to 9-2, the best 11-game record in franchise history. Carlos Correa had 2 hits and scored both runs. The Rangers were popped by the red-hot Angels 8-3. Albert Pujols smashed his 616th tater of his career, not the season, to help the Halos improve to 8-3, their best start to a season in 3 decades, but yet they're still behind the Astros. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Every business.
Woo-hoo!
If you're going to do that, you have to lean way back off the mic.
Was that too early? Missed
No,
it.
you just have to lean way back, okay?
My bad.
If you're going to screech.
That was singing. That wasn't screeching.
No, that was screeching. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert and Erin, 755. KEELnews.com has, when was it, Saturday night?
Saturday night. It was a throwdown at Superior.
I
was there.
There's a little wrestling.
Oh, come on. A man flies over the table. That's a throwdown.
That's WrestleMania.
He flew over the table to get it. The rumor is it was over a bite of a cookie. I don't know. I haven't confirmed that yet. But I was there in the front of the restaurant. My group was waiting for our big table. We had a big group. It was not my group involved in the fight, FYI.
First time for everything.
But we did have a big group. We were waiting for a table. Then the buzz in the restaurant was, oh, there was a fight, there was a fight, there was a fight. Didn't see it, but I saw the police cars,
So
the aftermath.
where in the Superior geography?
Okay, let's say you come in the Superior front door.
All right.
Okay, and you're going to go sit in the
So
main
if I'm standing-
restaurant,
If I'm standing at the hostess's dais,
looking into the restaurant,
where was this?
all the way to the back on the left. A big table all the way on the left against the wall in the back.
So opposite the bar, way back in the far
Yeah,
left.
a big under that TV, a big table of 10 people. And I mean, it is a throwdown. The video is up now at KEELnews.com. You're literally going to see a man fly over the table to get in the middle of the fight.
Not only does he fly over the table, he lands on his feet.
Oh, it's unreal.
It's kind of
These
interesting.
guys were going at it.
756, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Mark Zuckerberg later today. Facebook CEO Zuckerberg testifying, but not under oath, before the Senate Commerce Committee and Senate Judiciary Committee. And Louisiana's John Kennedy is on that Senate Judiciary Committee. And Erin is still stunned.
It's going to be juicy.
She is still stunned that they, meaning Facebook, are using the information you gave them permission to use that they're using it the way you get.
Yeah.
That we'll talk about this more after 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
We got to go. 7:57. Here's Sean Hannity on KEEL. It is 52 degrees, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL, 8 o'clock, Fox News. 3 past 8 o'clock, Robert and Erin, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Down yonder, Miss Erin has local news. Plenty of that is up next.
Crime numbers are down for Shreveport. We'll talk about that. What was that mortar shell in a local neighborhood? And do our kids need bulletproof backpacks?
Erin has to study her Facebook and Google Analytics because she doesn't know where she's gone. What? See, Mark Zuckerberg is going to testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee today, which I think is like this big show trial scam.
Yeah.
Because they need him way more than he needs them.
Oh, okay.
We'll talk about that. 3 past 8 o'clock plus Fletcher in sports and traffic and weather, and it's all coming up this hour on KEEL.
On 7 FM and 710 Keel. Your Keel cash code word is...
Almost embarrassed to say.
Fly.
Fly. Like
I'm so fly.
Well, okay. You're the bee's knees, too. Fly like F-L-Y. That's your Keel cash code word for this morning, and you could be a $5,000 winner.
Log on now, KeelNews.com, and find out if you're a winner. KeelNews.com. KeelNews.com. The power of information. Keel News now.
Shreveport police say crime is decreasing so far this year. Reuben Wright with more.
The first months of 2018 have seen a drop in violent crime in Shreveport. This time last year, the city had already seen 9 homicides. This year, so far, only 3. The end of February also saw a decline in property crimes of 19%. 2017 was a heavy year for crime in Shreveport with 50 homicides. Corporal Marcus Hines of the Shreveport Police Department claims that the crime decrease is a result of changes made within the department. From 1017 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Reuben Wright.
False alarm on a suspected mortar shell found in a local neighborhood. Residents on Bienville had quite a shock when a suspected explosive device was found. Police corporal was waved down after the device was spotted. A large-scale investigation that included Barksdale's Ordnance Disposal Team found the device was a non-explosive training device. Bulletproof backpacks may be on the horizon for Louisiana students. A bill approved by the Senate that would allow body armor to be worn on school properties and buses. The bill passed 34-2 and is now headed to the House. Students gather to learn about the law on prayer in schools. State Attorney General Jeff Landry telling KEEL News student-led prayer is completely legal. We asked him, what about parents who say they don't want their children in classes where there's prayer?
Those parents cannot infringe upon the other students' rights to express their First Amendment. Just like we can't infringe upon their right to profess the fact that they're atheists.
Now, Congressman Mike Johnson telling KEEL News, it's all about free speech for everyone.
Because we believe in the free marketplace of ideas, and conservatives and Christians are not about censoring and silencing other viewpoints because we don't have to. We want more free speech. We want more vigorous debate.
Landry says prayer cannot be initiated by teachers, but students can lead prayers. Emotional testimony expected in the Transportation Committee today as a bill will be heard requiring drivers to use only hands-free communication devices. Suzanne Salter will testify in favor. She says her daughter was killed by a teenage driver who was texting at the time of the fatal crash.
What was she looking at? You couldn't see a vehicle in front of you that was stopped in the brake lights? It's because her eyes was on her phone.
Distracted driving, one of the #1 causes of wrecks in our state. A 24/7 Wall Street report shows Louisiana one of the least taxed places to live in the country. We're tied for fifth in the least amount of taxes paid to local and state governments when compared to other states. LSU economist Dr. Jim Richardson says this state's been a low-tax state for years.
If you look at our property tax, it's very low compared to other states. If you look at our income tax, it's relatively low compared to other states, obviously except those states that don't have no income tax at all.
The report shows that state income tax collections per capita is the 13th lowest and property tax collections the 8th lowest. Legislation that increases penalties for teachers who engage in sexual relationships with students goes before a Senate committee today. Bossier Senator Ryan Gaddy says it makes such an offense a felony. It also expands the law to include coaches and team managers and doctors. He says the bill was inspired by the sexual abuse charges against former USA gymnastics team doctor Larry Nasser.
Because we want these young ladies to know that this is serious, that if they get touched or fondled or someone molests them, that they need to come forward, turn them in, and that we are going to take it seriously.
New technology could be coming to Shreveport. In an effort to boost internet speeds and have all-around better connectivity, the city may soon be going 5G. Micro towers with 5G capabilities will be placed around the community and will allow more users to connect at higher speeds. Town hall meeting is tonight to talk about education across our community. Bishop Larry Brandon with Praise Temple says one message has to be clear. Educating children starts with the family.
It begins at home. There's some things that we can do with our children. It's important that our parents are getting involved. And then there are those single parents, they're challenged. However, that's why it says some community, using the village principles, the community get involved.
The meeting is at 6 tonight at Praise Temple. President Trump lashes out against special counsel Robert Mueller's Russia investigation, branding it an attack on our country. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Right now, with no accidents or traffic situations to report. But if that changes and you see something, make sure you let us know by calling us on the Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Today, clouds will break for a little sun, high near 70. Turning out clear to partly cloudy, low 47 tonight, sunny, high 70 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
If your car was damaged, 13 past 8 o'clock. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL app's a free download, and it's awesome, presented by Office Furniture Source. So later today, you still are stunned at this whole Facebook information thing.
I am.
Why? Why are you surprised that the information that you gave them is being used by them to their profit?
Well, I know I gave them permission, but do they really need to know my panty size? Do they really need to know every time I like a bunny?
Let me
on
explain this to
Facebook?
you. I use this analogy in the 6 o'clock hour, okay? Think of Facebook as a house. Let me back up a little bit, and I said this a long time ago. This may go back to KVKI, how long ago this is. What I said was, and we were referring to government intrusion, government spying, the big brother mentality, and I said you don't need, government doesn't have to spy on us. We spy on ourselves.
Yes, we do.
And we voluntarily give up all the information about ourselves in social media. What I said about Facebook specifically in the 6 o'clock hour, what I said was, think of Facebook as a house, okay? And Mark Zuckerberg owns the house.
Yeah.
And you are not the owner of the house. You rent the house. And when you sign the lease, you give the landlord, Zuckerberg, the right to go through your house, his house that you rent from him anytime he wants.
Right.
Now you're stunned, you're mortified, you're angry that he actually is going through his house that you gave him permission to go through.
That's true. I told him he could.
Why does that surprise you?
What does he really want to know about me,
He's selling your information to people who use it.
But some of the information he's gathering is just stupid.
Well, it's mass information.
Yes, and
Okay,
you know,
wait, stop.
I guess he's got computers that can configure it.
If you think it's stupid, the people who are paying millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars for this demographic breakdown.
They really want to know my panty size?
If you have put that somewhere on Facebook, there is somebody who can use that as part of this composition of you and people like you. Yes.
I just don't get it. I know I gave him permission, and that's okay.
But you're not okay with it.
But you know, you think about it.
But wait, stop.
The head guy of Apple says he's getting off his Facebook. He's going to shut down his account. It's too late. They've already got it all.
You're not okay with it because
I can't change it. So I'm like just griping to gripe.
Later today, Facebook CEO. This is such a show trial. This is such a scam.
It's going to be available at the Senate Judiciary's website. I'll put it on our page now.
Right.
It starts at
Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg will take the stand before a joint congressional panel. He will not be under oath, but he is bound by legalities to tell the truth. He will testify before the Joint Senate Judiciary Committee, of which Louisiana lawmaker John Kennedy is a member, also the Senate Commerce Committee. Now,
that's 1:15 our time today.
What do you think's going to happen?
Oh,
nothing.
It's a dog and pony show. That's really all it is. A couple of photos will be taken.
So he's going to sit there and go, "Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm going to
did
change
this.
stuff."
We didn't use it to influence the elections. Maybe we did. Maybe
Mark
we didn't.
Zuckerberg understands that the political world needs Mark Zuckerberg a lot more than Mark Zuckerberg needs them.
Of course, absolutely. And you know, you're not going to shut down Facebook. You're not going to. You might see one senator or two going, "We should suspend Facebook," you know, whatever. You might see some sort of
Facebook
BS
is too
like
busy
that.
suspending Diamond and Silk because they're unsafe to the community.
I know.
He is the ultimate arbiter. Not only did you give him the right to go through all your stuff when you're away from the house that you rent from him, you gave him the right to evict you at any time for any reason that he deems necessary, and you have no recourse.
Right. I just don't want him in my panty drawer. I
Sorry,
really don't.
It's too late.
Well, I'm going to put some mouse traps in there or something.
It's too late.
It's too late.
You can draw all that. You can come up with all the little trow metaphors you want.
Not going to work.
It's too late.
Jeez. Okay. Will you even watch today, or you're like,
No, I don't
no,
care.
it's
No.
crazy.
I know where I've been.
I want to see Senator Kennedy. I want to see if he uses one of his good Southern charm things.
I know the websites I go to.
Yeah.
I know that I have given everybody
You don't care that he... Have you downloaded your report?
No.
You need to download your report.
Why? I know they know.
Yeah, I know.
I know where I go. I know they know where I go, and it's there for them to use as they see fit. As I said before, here's the irony of it all. When Mark Zuckerberg was giving away your information to Democrats, he was a god. Now that he sold information to Republicans, he's the devil. Nothing will happen today. It's a show trial. Nothing will change. You know how you will know something changed on Facebook? When you get a little pop-up with a new little box and a new little check for you to put in that box saying that you agree. That's how you'll know things have changed on Facebook.
Yeah.
Not what he says to the to those senators today. 19 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel traffic and weather updates right now. Brandon Michaels here.
Most major roadways in the Shreveport-Bossier City area are clear for your commute right now with no accidents or traffic situations to report. But if that changes and you see something, make sure you let us know by calling us on the Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Today, clouds will break for a little sun, high near 70. Turning out clear to partly cloudy, low 47 tonight, sunny, high 70 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
Hello, beautiful.
Twenty-one past 8 o'clock. Keel Sports. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The New Orleans Pelicans clinched their first playoff berth since 2015 with a 113-100 win over the Clippers in Los Angeles last night. Anthony Davis had 28 points, including a rim-rattling jam off a Rajon Rondo pass off the backboard to lead the way. The Pelicans can finish as high as the 4 seed in the West with a win over San Antonio in the regular season finale. Justin Verlander was dominant in 7 innings of work as Houston shut out Minnesota 2-0 Monday. The Astros ace fanned 9 to help his team climb to 9-2, the best 11-game record in franchise history. Carlos Correa had 2 hits and scored both runs. The Rangers were popped by the red-hot Angels 8-3. Albert Pujols mashed his 616th tater of his career, not the season, to help the Halos improve to 8-3, their best start to a season in 3 decades, but yet they're still behind the Astros. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
I know he's 23 past 8 o'clock. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Shreveport Security Systems text line is 318-392-1884. Who's this guy at 8:40?
Dr. James Richardson is going to join us at 8:40. He's an economist at LSU in Baton Rouge.
And there was this Wall Street Journal thing?
It was 24/7 Wall Street had a report saying that we have the lowest taxes in the country when you're looking at income taxes, etc.
Right.
But they didn't take into account sales taxes, I don't think.
Well, and you would think if that were the case that people in Baton would somehow be proud of that.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, well, we'll talk about this more, but I was going to say it's when John Bell wanted to raise the gas tax 24 cents a gallon.
Right.
When Sean Wilson said we need a 24 cents a gallon gas tax increase. And the reason, well, it hasn't been raised in 30 years or whatever it happened to be. I'd be kind of proud of that. I wouldn't be embarrassed by that. That makes me happy as a guy who buys gasoline. I don't want my gas price per gallon going up a quarter.
But I do want my roads fixed.
What are they doing with what
They're
you got?
horrible.
What are they doing now with what you give them?
Barely scratching the surface.
When people in state government say the condition of the state is because you're not giving us enough money, do you believe that? Is that
most of the time? No, I do not.
There you go. You know, we were talking a second ago about Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook and the privacy policy that he's going to talk about that. What was the word? God, this just got so rubbed me the wrong way. What was the phrase in the newscast? Mark Zuckerberg faces the Senate Inquisition. No, there's no inquisition. He's not going into the Iron Maiden with the spikes. They're not, he's not being chained to a pole. He's not being waterboarded today. He's going to testify about what everybody knows on both sides. Everybody knows what they do.
Right.
They gather information. They sell information. This whole, what's it called, Cambridge Analytica thing?
Mm-hmm.
He sold information on Facebook users to Republicans. He had previously given information on Facebook users to Democrats. What's the deal? Why is everybody so upset? I asked you during the break, I said, so what are you, because you are so concerned that Mark Zuckerberg and his minions are going through your symbolic panty drawer.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, you told him he could. You said, I'm leaving the house now. Let me open it for you.
Yeah.
And I said, what are you doing as a result of your shock and your being stunned at what they're doing with your information? What are you doing to lessen your digital footprint? And you said, well, I'm liking, in the Facebook lexicon, I'm liking fewer things.
Yeah.
I'm going to fewer. I said, no. Are you taking down photos? And you said, well, there's nothing there I don't want anyone to see. And I said, well, hold on a second. You do understand. It's not, I don't mean to imply that there is anything on your Facebook site that is salacious.
There's nothing.
Or would impugn your character.
Mm-hmm.
What I want you to consider is, what could someone know about you from looking at your Facebook page? What would they know about you? What would they know about your family? Here's what amazes me about Facebook. I know people who literally, parents who have 1 or 2 kids, let's say they're 6 or 7 or 8 or 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
These parents will not let their kids ride the bicycle down the street to visit a friend 200 yards away without supervision, because of the dangerous world we live in, because of the predatory world in which we find ourselves. They won't let their kids walk to a friend's house alone. And yet, if you go to their Facebook page, you see 200 pictures of their kids.
That's true. That's true.
And you don't have any security measures. You don't have, it's wide open to whoever want to look.
Yeah.
Just understand, there are people out, they are using the information you give them. It's not about what porn sites you've been to or what photos drunk you may have taken of yourself that's on Facebook now. It's about the information about you and your family. Think of it as this.
I learned something about this that helped me, and you're going to go, wow, you did something, a bell went off. I know I told you a few years ago when my mother got a call from my son who was in jail and he needed her help.
It was really neither.
It wasn't my son. He was not in jail, but she was about to send money. And he knew my son's name. He knew my mother's name. He knew my mother's phone number. He knew the strings to pull to get her to be sympathetic. She almost sent him money. Then it clicked to me. They connected her through me, through my children, and her phone number's probably readily available because it's always been in the white pages, you know? And I thought, that's how they figured it out.
Remember, and I'm going to repeat what I said,
Oh.
there are parents who will not let their kids walk 100 yards down the street without adult supervision because they fear for their safety.
Mm-hmm.
And yet they have on their Facebook page 1,000 pictures of their kids.
Yeah.
29 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Traffic update coming up right now. Here's Brandon Michael on Keel.
No major traffic incidents are slowing down your commute at this point in the Shreveport-Bossier City area, but that could change at any moment. When it does and you see it, make sure you let us know by calling us on the Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Today, clouds will break for a little sun, high near 70. Turning out clear to partly cloudy, low 47 tonight, sunny, high 70 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
My name's Betty Mae.
1017 FM, 710 Keel, Robert and Erin. It's 8:35. So see, everybody that clicks on the Keel Facebook link and goes to the Keel Facebook page, or the Keel website, keelnews.com, and looks at the Superior Grill fight video from Saturday night, they know they like fight videos.
Yeah.
So when they click later today, you wonder how a fight video, here's more fight videos for you to watch.
If you're just on the train, there was a big fight inside Superior Bar and
You
Grill
call it
Saturday
a big
night.
fight?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it wasn't a big
Oh, when a whole table of 10 people clears,
I'm thinking a big fight. I'm thinking about the thing that happened. Well, I don't want to mention any names.
No,
But it
this
involved
was a big
the
deal.
casino and the swimming pool, and
Yeah.
then it went inside. That's a big
This
fight.
was not quite to that extent.
This
but
was not Sharks and Jets.
And the funny thing is, I was there. I was at Superior Bar and Grill
In the
Saturday
middle of it
night.
all.
I wasn't in the middle of the fight. I was at another. I was in the front waiting to be seated. We were having a late night dinner before another outing, and we were waiting to be. I was with a large group of people too, about 10 people, waiting on a table. And then the buzz started in the restaurant. There's a fight. There's been a fight. There's been a fight. And they cleared it out of the restaurant pretty
Now,
quick.
that is not. When you told me where it was, basically, if you are standing in the restaurant, if you are standing at the hostess's dais, it was in the far rear left-hand corner.
Yes, under that TV way in the back.
How did you not see that if you're standing at the hostess dais?
Well, the part of the problem is we were waiting outside for a little while.
It was cold outside.
It was kind of cold. And then we were waiting on the inside where they put you over on the bar side.
Gotcha.
You're
So
waiting
there's
at those tables,
got
those
that
chairs
sort of
over there.
wall where there's
So the two sections we were waiting at were over there.
Uh-huh.
Early in the evening, we were waiting in the back, which we would have seen it right there, but we moved outside because it was packed in there Saturday night. I mean, it was slammed. And if you haven't seen this video of this fight, OMG, one of the men comes flying over the table. He takes this big leap, flies over the table, lands on his feet,
like a hurdler,
and starts pummeling another guy.
There are face punches.
Oh, and thankfully there always is a police officer at Superior working off duty. So he was able to break it up. One of the waiters, I think, tried to break it up.
There are women involved. There's
man. Rumor has it that it started over a cookie, but I don't know. I have reached out to find out who was arrested, how many people were charged, and all that. Because when I left the restaurant, it was about midnight, and there were still 2 police cars out there in the parking lot with lights on.
You have no idea if there were arrests?
I know there were arrests.
Yeah.
I don't know how many or for what, for what the charges were.
Gotcha.
And how many they hauled away.
But if someone were so inclined as to see this video, what would one do?
All you have to do is go to keelnews.com. It's right there at the top. You can see the fight. It's pretty short, but it's from inside the restaurant. It's their own video.
Security cam, right?
You bet.
And it was about 9:30 at night? Was
9:30 Saturday night, and it's a humdinger.
And the place is packed more than you
Oh.
listening right now. I was there. I didn't notice anything.
I heard all the rumors after the fact, and I saw the police cars, but I didn't know it was as big as it is.
KeelNews.com. 839, 1017 FM, 710 Keel, the latest traffic. Brandon Michael is here on Keel.
Commute this morning in the Shreveport-Bossier City area as no major accidents or slowdowns are being reported. But if you see something, make sure you let us know about it. Call us on the Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Pleasant today with sunshine and a high of 70. Clear and chilly, low 44 tonight. Sunshine and warmer, high 79 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. It's 842. That KEEL app, don't ever forget, is a free download from Office Furniture Source, and it sounds pretty darned awesome. Dr. James Richardson is an economist at Louisiana State University in Baton Rouge. Hey, Dr. Jim, how are you this morning? Thank you for taking time.
How you doing?
Excellent, thank you. You know, we had, and he's a state representative from Ruston on not too long ago. His name is Robert Shadowin, Representative Robert Shadowin. And basically, the question we asked was, are Louisianans undertaxed? And it was in the middle of all the special session and tax raising stuff. We said, are Louisianans undertaxed? Because he was in favor of a lot of those revenue enhancements. And he said, Louisianans aren't overtaxed. Well, there's a Wall Street Journal site or something that says that, in fact, Louisianans are not overtaxed, right?
Well, there's a number of studies. A recent one put out indicating that compared to other states, we're about number 45 or so in terms of being close to the bottom and being low tax states. The Tax Foundation, a business group out of D.C., has consistently said we were at the lower portion, certainly the bottom 10 states, sometimes the bottom 5 states, in terms of taxing ourselves for our public services.
Why
now,
is it
that doesn't? Oh, pardon me.
No, why is it then that there is? Why do Louisianans feel either we're not getting the bang for the buck or overtaxed? Why is that? Where's that disconnect?
Well, I think typically people can measure things outside our states, but I think how you feel about taxation depends on what you've been used to. So obviously, you feel you're paying a lot for the public services you're getting. If they try to increase it, they say, "Hey, what's happening here? Why are you doing that to me?" So I think it's a matter of perception, and it's a matter of if you just look at numbers, comparing us to almost any other state in the country, we don't pay quite as much as other states do on a per capita basis.
Right. Is the fact...
Does that factor in our sales tax, though?
Yeah, that's one of the highest in the country. That's not
yes,
perception,
it does.
right?
It factors in the sales tax, the income tax, the property tax. Those are typically state and local taxes together. The sales taxes are where we stand out in terms of that's one part of the tax code that we have mastered in terms of taxing sales, at least some sales, not all sales. We have a long list of things we exempt, and one of the reasons we exempt them is because we have these very high rates on them. So people come up and say, "Hey, we cannot pay that tax, that sales tax rate, so we need to be exempted." So we have a very long list of exemptions from the sales tax for that very reason, because it's a very high rate. But when you go to the store to buy something, cost you $1, and it's $1.05 or $1.04, you probably don't notice that very much.
All the talk about a constitutional convention for tax reform, if you had your way and your magic wand, you could wave it to fix our tax structure, where would you start, Dr. Jim?
Well, I think we had a study back in 2015 that I and Professor Scheffrin and Alm from Tulane University did for the legislature. And then all three of us served on a special tax commission, HCR 11, and we all suggested one of the things we really have to do is we have to get rid of a lot of the exemptions and a lot of the special things and get the rates down. But that applies to every tax we're talking about. It applies to the income tax, individual income tax. One of our major exemptions is the federal taxes we pay. Most states do not allow people to deduct that before they get their taxable income. And that's a big number, a huge number. It costs the state over $1 billion each year at the current rates. And we have always suggested that if you eliminate that particular exemption, you could lower the rates from what they are right now. And you wouldn't necessarily have to gain revenue, but you could gain revenue too. It depends on what your budget situation is. But you could. It's a two-way street. You have to lower the rates. You have to get rid of the exemption. But that's constitutionally protected. So the legislature, even if they wanted to, could not do it. They had to ask the people to do that. And we talked about that. And there are several other exemptions that are very costly. There is the there are several tax credits that we have, which people debate. For example, there's if I'm a business in Caddo Parish, I pay an inventory tax to my local assessor or my local government.
Mm-hmm.
I come to the state, and I get a credit for that. The state repays me, or did repay me.
So many hoops, right? So many
A
hoops
lot
to
of
jump through.
A lot of hoops there, and that again, that was done in the '90s as an economic development process. We want businesses to come to the state. Inventory taxes, one of these hurdles. We couldn't eliminate the inventory tax because it's a local revenue source. So we did it in a roundabout way. We said, okay, you pay your local government. We'll give you a break at the state level, though.
Pardon me a second, Dr. Jim. You just said the reason for all the just the bizarre way that we do taxation in Louisiana. And if we are, in fact, one of the lowest taxed states in the country, I guess the question is obvious to me, why aren't businesses flocking here? Why is the reason they give we're overtaxed, that your taxation is too high? Where's that? Once again,
well, I think taxation is a two-way thing. It's not just businesses. It's also individuals. Businesses may say they are overtaxed. They may think that. I think for the most part, I think the businesses will come for a lot of reasons. One, they come for, obviously, your location. Well, we have certain things that are very important for businesses. We have some resources, natural resources, obviously oil and gas. We have the rivers. We have the transportation. We have the trade. Now, what we don't have is we don't have that massive airport like a Dallas-Fort Worth or like Atlanta has.
But pardon me, but they will tell you, businesses will say, the reason we ain't coming to Louisiana is because the taxes are too high and the education system and the infrastructure. But let's focus on the tax for the second. If we're so, compared to other states, undertaxed, where is everybody?
Well, I think the question then is, okay, you mentioned three things. Which one's the most important for a business to do? If they look, okay, the tax issue, the public education issue, the infrastructure issue, or other public services. And unfortunately, the way you pay for those public services is how? You have to tax us a little bit more. So it's a trade-off there, and I think what we have, if they can complain. Of course, businesses talk about taxes at the bottom line as they make decisions. That's certainly one of the elements. But the other factors are also important, too. And indeed, in some situations, as we move to a new type of a business structure, a lot more businesses that are, say, information-oriented, technology-oriented, the quality of the labor force becomes very, very important. And that's something we have to grow, or we have to bring people into the state to fill their employment needs.
Dr. Jim Richardson, economist, LSU, Baton Rouge. Thanks for your time this morning. Look forward to chatting again soon.
Okay, thank you now.
You
Bye-bye.
bet.
8:51, it's 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic update coming up right now. Brandon looks ready.
Let us know by calling us on the Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Pleasant today with sunshine and a high of 70. Clear and chilly, low 44 tonight. Sunshine and warmer, high 79 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zayer.
So you're thinking. 8:52 KEEL Sports Time. Here's Fletch.
It's going to be a felony.
Louisiana senators opened their budget hearings with Louisiana senators opened their budget hearings.
Felony.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Today, clouds will break for a little sun, high near 70. Turning out clear to partly cloudy, low 47 tonight, sunny, high 70 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
Really, it's going to be a felony.
Things might be changing on the cell phone. Things might be changing on the cell phone. Things might be changing on
Button, devices on the vehicles now, or even devices on the vehicles now, or even a
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Just running out of gas. It was about the right time.
Nah.
8:54. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. You had a news story yesterday about, bring me up to date on the jury story that you had.
There's some talk
Need a
about
little microphone here.
It's on. Got to hit it. There we go.
There we go.
It's some talk about requiring a unanimous jury verdict in Louisiana.
In
They're
capital
working on,
cases?
Yeah. Mhm.
Was it capital cases?
I'm not sure. I didn't.
Shreveport Security Systems text line, 318-392-1884. Good morning. I am commenting. Now, this is this morning commenting on yesterday's story.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning. I am commenting in reference to the bill that would require a jury to be unanimous in order to convict someone of a felony. Think about this, they write. Think about this. One person off the street and put them on a jury can turn somebody loose on society. This is when 11 other people have found this person guilty. Does this make sense? Even if 12 people were all educated judges, would you want a single person to be tried, or would you want a person to be tried and 11 of the judges find them guilty, a single judge finds them innocent, and that one judge allowing them to be free?
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if other states do it. It is wrong.
Yeah. Definitely. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if they're going to pass the bill or not, but there's a lot of talk about it. But it's not getting as much attention as many of the other bills.
Back tomorrow morning, 6 till 9 o'clock. 101's. Who's on the guest list for tomorrow? Somebody already.
Our top cop is going to join us tomorrow. I'm excited. Christian Hicks. Corporal Christian Hicks is going to be in studio with us.
What time will that be?
Just past 7 o'clock.
And by the way, if you don't know how you can enter a lawman that you admire, just click on it's right there on the KEEL website, keelnews.com, and top cop, the notation where you click, where you go.
Oh, yeah.
Is rather obvious.
I can't wait for you to hear his story.
Back tomorrow morning, 6 till 9. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. It's 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Here's Kim Commando.
these days. That's a good thing. These mamas make sense. Terry Netterville and Denise Arthur. Listen to Mama on American Ground Radio. Weeknights from 6 to 7 p.m. Right here on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. And streaming live at KEELnews.com.
8:59, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic update. Here's Brandon.
No major traffic incidents are slowing down your commute at this point in the Shreveport-Bossier City area, but that could change at any moment. When it does and you see it, make sure you let us know by calling us on the Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Today, clouds will break for a little sun, high near 70. Turning out clear to partly cloudy, low 47 tonight, sunny, high 70 tomorrow. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zane.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.